Game 2 from Arlington, Texas. It's the Rangers trying to take command of this series. Moreno hits it in the air to left center field. Tavares and Carter on the move. That ball is gone! The Diamondbacks strike first in Game 2. Carroll shoots a base hit the other way. Longoria is headed for the plate. He'll score without a throw, and Corbin Carroll has tapped off. A deep breath and a 3-2 pitch from Merrill Kelly. 7 excellent innings in the World Series. Diamondbacks looking for some insurance. Ground ball, base hit left field, and Emmanuel Rivera adds to this bottom of the lineup dominance in this game, driving in 2. So Arizona 3 outs away from tying up the World Series in a game apiece. 2-2. Shot to third and caught. Rivera's got it, and Game 2 goes to the Diamondbacks in a resounding way, 9-1 to tie the series up.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into Game 3 of the World Series, set to get underway right behind us in just a few minutes. I am joined, as always, by Alex Curry. Alex, tonight is going to be awesome. First time in a long time there has been a World Series game here in Phoenix, and we are here tonight to experience it, and this is going to be a lot of fun.
22 years since there has been a World Series game in this building, and walking around the town yesterday and even today around the concourse, you can tell how excited this fan base is. It's a beautiful day. The roof is open, our first open roof game in the World Series, and we now have a fresh series with it all tied up. How does this change your mindset of this series, if at all?
Well, we now have a best-of-5 series, and the Diamondbacks are the team with home field advantage. So we have 5 games left. The next 3 will be here. Look, this is their first home game in a World Series in 22 years. That's really the first World Series that I ever remember watching in 2001. It was the Yankees. It was the Diamondbacks. It went to a Game 7. Really, one of my first memories of watching a World Series game was that one that happened right here behind us. A lot has changed since then, including the Diamondbacks' colors. They look nothing like they did back then. But now here tonight, they get to take the field again. And they're doing it with a totally different crew, a totally different look than most teams in baseball do it as well. You got Corbin Carroll. You got Gabriel Moreno, Alec Thomas. Those guys were 1 year old. 1 year old when the Diamondbacks were last in the World Series. So what do you need to do? Use the energy from the crowd. This place is going to be packed. I don't know the capacity.
They said it's sold out.
Based on my eyes, I'm really good at this. I see about 47,632 seats in here. This place is going to get loud. They're 3-1 at home in the postseason, so they play really well here at home. They have to keep creating chaos. Stay hot. That's what they do. And what do I mean by chaos? Because it's the word, right? You look everywhere here, and it says embrace the chaos, create chaos. It's getting on base any way you can. It's stealing bases. It's making the pitcher uncomfortable. It's doing all of the little things. It's small ball, essentially. And now they're 3 stolen bases away from tying the all-time postseason record for stolen bases in the playoffs. Let's go back to Game 2, where every single player in the starting lineup got a hit. This Diamondbacks team, Alex, doesn't do it like everybody else. It's not live and die by the long ball. It's not try and get guys on base and then hit a 3-run homer. It's if we get a guy on base, we feel really good about scoring. And it's because of how good they are on the bases. We've talked to a lot of players about that. They all talk about creating chaos. So we will see here tonight if they're able to do that. If they can get on base, they make pitchers uncomfortable. Now Max Scherzer's going for the Rangers, and it's hard to make a veteran like him uncomfortable, but you don't want them on the bases. They just create chaos. And one guy we talked to about that pregame was the closer for this team, one of the better closers in the game of baseball, Paul Sewald. Let's hear him now. Paul, congratulations on being in the World Series. You've now pitched in a World Series game. You're back here at home, the first World Series game in front of this crowd in 22 years. How awesome is this going to be?
It's going to be loud, it's going to be red, and we're really excited to be in front of our home fans.
That's awesome.
Now this team has been rolling. Every starter got a hit in Game 2. Pitching depth has been incredible. How can you guys take advantage of that kind of depth on all ends of the roster?
I just think when you look at our Game 3 starter, Brandon Pfaadt, that's kind of the key. He's been put in some really difficult situations so far this postseason and has responded as well as anybody could possibly hope. So I think that's where we really can take over.
We got to ask about Tommy Pham. Game 2 goes 4 for 4, has a chance to be the only player ever to go 5 for 5 in a World Series game. Goes up to Torrey and says, I want Jace to get it at bat. Talk about Tommy Pham as a teammate and the chemistry of this team.
I just think the world finally got to see what Tommy's like away from maybe how they want to see Tommy Pham, and I think that's just a perfect example. 4 for 4 because he's ultra prepared for every single game, so of course he's ready at the plate, but just the fact that he actually cares about his teammates more than anybody would ever guess, and that's just him, and it's just great for the whole world to get to see what he's really like.
Now, you've got a lot of young guys on this team, a lot of players playing in their first World Series, and when you see a guy like Corbin Carroll really step up and lead by example, how have you seen a lot of this team really take on the massive pressure of being in a World Series?
Yeah, I say half of it is because people like Corbin Carroll are just mature beyond their years. Like, no one should be able to take this league at 22 and just run with it the way he has. And then the other half are just too young and naive to know that we have too much pressure going, so they don't even realize that there's 1,000 people over here on the dirt. So a little bit of both, just people mature beyond their years, and then just young and naive and just not worrying about it.
That's great.
Good luck, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks,
Thank you. Now, even though the D-backs have more home games now for the rest of this series, essentially they are the home team of this now 5-game series, you can't count out the Rangers. They have been unbelievable on the road, undefeated this postseason. So what's their mentality right now in the clubhouse coming into this game?
They feel great. The Rangers are road dogs, and you just got to come out and keep that going. They're 8-0 on the road this postseason, tied for second best all time. So their mindset, their mentality is great. We're on the road. We thrive on the road. We haven't lost yet on the road all playoffs long. They're feeling good about where they are. But the Stars need to step back up. Shake off Game 2. Talked about it after Game 2 and just said, look, if you're these guys, you've been hot, you've been on fire, just don't worry about Game 2. Merrill Kelly got the best of you, right? What do? You tip your cap, you get on the plane to Arizona and say, we're going to get right back to doing what we've been doing for a long time. But it ain't going to work again if Garcia, Seager, Carter, Semien are going to go 2 for 14 again like they did in Game 2. That's not going to work. Those are the guys. The offense runs around those guys. They have plenty of depth in their lineup, 5 through 9, but the offense runs through those 4 you hear right there. If you tell me right now at the end of the game we're going to look up and the Rangers are going to go 2 for 14 with their 1 through 4 batters, I would tell you they're going to lose Game 3. If you tell me they go 5 for 15, I'll tell you they got a pretty good chance of winning this game. So the Stars have to step up, continue to do what they've been doing on the road. We saw it in the Houston series, Alex. These guys were relentless on the road. They scored first, they scored often, and they didn't let the crowd in it. They kept trying to take you out of the game and put you away. They were able to do that against the Astros, and we'll see if they're able to do that here tonight.
So how do you do that then, to not let that kind of give you a step back and to have that mentality of just keep doing what we can do?
Yeah, it sounds simple, but
yeah,
the key to it is I think a lot of teams that are good on the road enjoy hitting first, right? I think there's something to coming up to the plate, scoring first, taking a crowd out of it. So, yeah, you can say just keep doing what you've been doing. But what does that mean? It means come out with your game plan, be the first team to hit, and if you can score in that first inning, Alex, how many times have we been talking about it throughout the entire postseason? If you're scoring first, you're winning the ball game.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of the road teams have been winning in these playoffs, because you score first, you're winning. And I think tonight that's what they have to come out and do. If they score in the top of the first inning, I bet you they end up winning this ball game.
And you talked to Smoltz about this earlier today, right?
Yeah, talked to him about 1 through 4 in the lineup. Again, those guys I just mentioned, Semien, Seager, Evan Carter, Adolis Garcia, and said, hey, the D-backs really kept them pretty off the board in Game 2, and that's why they won that ball game. What did you see from the Diamondbacks about the way they pitched them, and what do those guys need to do tonight here in Game 3? So let's listen to that now. All right, John, we have made it to Arizona. Game 3 of the World Series is on deck. Game 2 the Rangers 1 through 4 in their lineup was really held at bay by the Diamondbacks pitching. If you can do that to this Rangers team, I feel like that's when you're able to have success. How did you see the Diamondbacks pitch those top guys in the Rangers lineup?
Well, they did a good job from the game one is throwing more strikes. They tried to get them to chase. The Rangers don't chase much. Effectively, they were able to pitch to the bottom of the zone, get a lot of strikes, pitch ahead, and when they do that, they can have success, especially what Merrill Kelly did. Look, I think it's a simple formula, but it's not as easy as the teams do make it look at times. If you can make great pitches against a great offense, you will slow them down, and that's what they did.
We hear a lot about this Diamondbacks team creating chaos, running the bases, and stealing bases. We know what that does, advancing 90 feet, but I want to ask you from a pitcher's perspective. How uncomfortable does it make you as a pitcher when you have guys on base that you know they're going to run and try and take those extra bases?
Well, the biggest thing is it's uncomfortable now because no one had to train for it coming into this year. Pitchers don't do a good job in general as holding runners because there wasn't anybody running. Now that it's happened so fast, you have to expose it, and they've done a good job. And I like what they talk about is not necessarily stealing bases, it's the threat of stealing bases. So if I can get a pitch to the hitter less effective, I get the hitter a better place to score and drive in runs. It's simply put, this has been and always will be postseason of adjustments. And in game 1 to game 2, no bigger adjustments did the offense make and the pitching side. They walked 10 guys, then they didn't walk anybody, and they struck out 14 times, and then they didn't strike out. So that's how you make adjustments in game and in the series.
Well, let's get to tonight's pitching matchup because we have a tale of two different pitchers at polar opposite ends of their careers, right? We have the Rangers have Max Scherzer, who's a veteran, who's won a World Series, and then the D-backs have Pfaadt, who's a rookie, pitching in his first World Series. What are you expecting to see from both these guys tonight?
This is so interesting to me. One, Max Scherzer's career started right here behind us with the Arizona Diamondbacks long time ago, 2008. Max Scherzer, drafted by these guys, makes his debut here. And now, people forget that because it was so long ago. He's been with so many teams, but he's now on the mound in a World Series game here against the D-backs. And obviously, we know about his career, right? He's a Hall of Famer. He's going to get there. He's one of the greatest the game has ever seen. He's an absolute gamer. And he's 9-0 all-time versus the Diamondbacks. It's the most wins without a loss by an active player versus single opponent. That's Max Scherzer against his former team, the Arizona Diamondbacks. On the other side of things, Pfaadt, who's been brilliant in the playoffs so far. And something that, look, when you're a playoff team, if you want to get to the World Series, you need two basically co-aces. Diamondbacks have it, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, and then you need a third pitcher to step up and be dominant. Last year, the Phillies, Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, and Ranger Suarez stepped up to be that guy. So far this playoffs, Pfaadt has stepped up to be that guy where they had their third pitcher come out and dominate. Now, in the regular season, he was not good, an ERA well over 5. In the playoffs, the complete opposite. He's been dominant in the playoffs. 5.72 in the regular season, a 2.70 in the postseason. So what's been the difference? Well, there's been some mechanical differences. He's shifted to the complete opposite side of the rubber. He now pitches all the way over to the left on the first base side of the rubber, and he used to pitch on the right side of the rubber, and he changed things with his arm angle as well. So you get the savvy veteran, the Hall of Fame guy against the rookie in his first World Series start. That's about as big of a contrast as you can possibly get, and I caught up with John Smoltz about this matchup as well. Tonight, Game 3, we got Max Scherzer, Pfaadt on the mound as well. What are you looking for in this matchup tonight?
Well, I think the biggest thing, again, is now third time around, Max Scherzer should have better feel, even though he had a little bit of a blister issue on his thumb. I think he had better feel for pitching, being in the fact that he really was going on emotions and kind of like on the fly because of his injury. And I think for this young kid, it's a tale of two seasons. I mean, he really is a different pitcher. You don't look at his stats. You look at what he's done the last 3 starts. Hey, he was as cool as it comes in Game 7, so I wouldn't anticipate him being rattled in a World Series.
If you're the Rangers, Max Scherzer now getting his 3rd start back, 2 in the ALCS, now we're here in the World Series. What are you expecting out of him if you're the Texas Rangers, or what are you wanting out of Max Scherzer
Well, you
tonight?
really want 5 innings. I mean, this is going to be bullpens from here on out for the next 2 games. There's no prototypical starter next game for the Rangers, so they have to get some innings. It'll be testing the patience of Bruce Bochy, because really both games and Game 4 will be bullpen games. So whoever they don't use in this game will be vital for the next game and vice versa. So, you know, you never really go into a World Series hoping, but in this case, if they get 5, and that's weird to say when you're talking about Max Scherzer, because you would never say that if he was healthy.
On the other hand, Brandon Pfaadt, you mentioned, tale of 2 seasons with him. What has been the reason for the turnaround that we've seen from him?
Well, they've done a good job managing the different things they wanted him to work on. First thing, they sent him down to get some spacing between his velocity, and really the sequencing of his pitches was the second time they sent him down. The third time, they made an adjustment on the rubber from the first base side of the rubber to from the third base to the first base. So he's handled all 3 checkpoints, and he has been a much different pitcher. He's a slider that disappears when he's on, and he's a strike thrower. So he will give up some home runs. That's going to be the kind of the theory tonight. It'll be what aggressive style hitting has the advantage over aggressive style pitching.
All right, let's take a look at these starting lineups. Starting with the Rangers, not a ton of movement, just a quick little swap.
Yeah, quick little swap at the top of the lineup. They switched Evan Carter, Delis Garcia here. Fairly similar lineup to what we've been seeing all postseason, though. Semien, Seager are the top 2 guys. But, Alex, for me, we talk player of the game, player to watch ever since the ALCS started, right? For me, I'm changing it up today. I'm going players to watch.
Okay,
plural.
explain.
It's 1 through 4 in this entire lineup. It's Semien, it's Seager, it's Garcia, and it's Evan Carter. 1 through 4. That's what I'm looking out for. They can't go 2 for 14 in this game tonight and expect to win. It just can't happen. Watch out for them. If they do well, they win this game. If they don't, they lose.
All right, my player to watch is Max Scherzer. He needs to have a strong outing for the Rangers here tonight. Try to get a little deeper into the game. You don't want to deplete your bullpen and use your bullpen too much the first of 3 games on the road, right? First game he was back, he went 4 innings, gave up 5 earned runs. Game 7 got pulled in the 3rd inning, so we haven't really seen how deep he can go yet, but as you mentioned before, we've talked about it a lot, your brother had this exact same injury. It took him like 3 or 4 games to get back to the pitcher he was before the injury. So if it can happen here tonight, that would be huge for the Rangers.
I would say, Alex, in a Game 7, his last start, don't look too much into how long he pitched into that game. And Game 7's really all hands on deck.
Yeah.
They had Jordan Montgomery ready to go in that game. They weren't going to let Max get in a lot of trouble, so they take him out at the first sign of trouble. I think he could go deeper into the game tonight than he has been since he's come back.
Like 5?
I would not be surprised if he gets through 5 innings.
Okay.
If he does get through 5 innings, I think you're feeling really, really good about the start you got from him.
That's fair. All right, let's move to the D-backs lineup. Similar situation, just a little swap.
Yeah, not a lot of movement here either. Look, it's the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's now the World Series. You're here because of what got you here. You're not going to see a ton of movement in the lineup, especially if you keep a righty against you have the same lineup versus a righty, and you have the same lineup versus a lefty, and you don't really shift that much. But yeah, largely by and large the same lineup. To Alex, tonight I'm watching Tommy Pham.
Okay.
4 for 4 last game. Had an opportunity to be the first player in World Series history to go 5 for 5, but instead went up to his manager, Torey Lovullo, and said, I want to let Jace Peterson get in a bat. Put him in for me.
Oh.
And it ended up being one of the cooler stories, I think, of the postseason so far, is a guy having that kind of game with that kind of history on the line saying, I want to let my friend get his first ever World Series at bat. I thought that was a really cool moment. All of his teammates have talked so highly about Tommy Pham, the teammate. He's hot. He's coming off a 4 for 4 game. Will he do the same tonight? I'm watching him.
All right, my player to watch is Ketel Marte. He is on one heck of a streak, an 18-game postseason hit streak, meaning he has had a hit in every single postseason game that he has played in. But he needs to keep that going here tonight. He does not have great career numbers against Max Scherzer. He is 1 for 9 in his career. However, if he can turn that around tonight in the World Series, none of that matters. This is where it all counts. He needs to keep it going and have some good hits off of Max Scherzer.
Yep, absolutely. Look, so these numbers right here tell a big story here.
Yeah.
I don't look too much into how a pitcher does against another team over the course of their career. What I more so care about is how a certain pitcher does against players in the lineup. Max Scherzer has dominated the players in this lineup that he's faced. There's a lot of really young guys that there's not much back or forth to talk about. But the veterans, Tommy Pham, Evan Longoria, Ketel Marte, Yuli Gurriel, all of them are hitting under 136 against Max Scherzer in their career. So that bodes well for Max here tonight.
Yeah, it does. Okay, let's get to the game. What is your deciding factor here tonight in Game 3?
So, to me, when it comes to Game 3, it's all about Max Scherzer. We know how good he is.
Yeah.
Can he get through 5 innings or more? I think if he does, if we see Max Scherzer getting through 5 and even pitching into the 6th, if you tell me that right now, I would tell you the Rangers win this ball game. So my deciding factor is all about Max Scherzer. Talk to John Smoltz and ask him that same question. John, Game 3 on deck. I need your deciding factor of the game tonight.
The long ball. Whoever keeps the ball in the park is going to win. It's that simple. Even though the Diamondbacks don't rely on the long ball, they can create and manufacture. We've seen the Texas Rangers rely heavily on streaky innings and taking advantage of mistakes. And if they do that and they hit a few home runs, they'll be victorious, I believe, in tonight's game.
Does the ball fly here more with the roof open or closed?
It does. And, you know, analytically, 5 more feet. But 5 more feet could be the difference between, obviously, robbing a home run and a fan giving a souvenir.
John, appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, time for Game 3 predictions. Who are you going with, and what's the score going to be?
Alex, this might shock you because I haven't done it all playoffs.
Yeah?
I'm going with the Texas Rangers tonight. I think they win this ball game 7-3. The Road Dogs come out and road dog. Does that make sense?
The Road Dogs
are road dogging tonight, baby. Rangers 7-3 is my prediction.
All right. Interesting.
What about yours?
Oh, opposite of you, I am taking the D-backs 4-2. They have been rolling. I think they're going to get to Max Scherzer. I don't think he is back to his full form yet, which, if he's not, the D-backs need to jump on that early and take advantage of it. I'm taking the D-backs at home in Game 3.
All right, Alex, take it all in behind
Yeah.
us. First World Series game here in 22 years is about to begin. The starting lineups are about to be announced, which, by the way, stay on this stream all the way through the first half inning of the game. You'll be able to see the lineups, the anthem, the first half inning. You can watch it all right here. And it's great because this is my first time in this stadium.
Yeah.
We got to see it with the roof closed when we walked in.
It was dark.
And now the roof is open.
Now it's beautiful.
It is a little dark in here when the roof is
It felt
closed.
like a cave, like a baseball cave dungeon with the roof closed. And then it opened. It was like, oh, this is beautiful. I get it now.
A lot better energy in here when the roof is open. But it's really good energy in here right now. This place holds, by the way, I said 47,600. It's about 48,000. It's 48,519.
You were close.
I was off by less than 1,000. That's a win. We take that.
That was good.
Thank
you
you.
said, based on my eyes, I am going to say, yeah, that was pretty good.
Pretty
Credit
good.
to you.
So enjoy the game, everyone. Alex and I will be back with you post-game. Just a few minutes after the final out, we will be live recording our post-game episode of Flippin' Bats. So make sure you check that out. Alex, this one is going to be exciting tonight. I got the Rangers. You got the Diamondbacks. We will see how it goes. But everybody, stay right here. Enjoy the lineups, enjoy the anthem, and enjoy the half inning of the game right here on this stream. We will see you all after.
The D-backs public address announcer Chuck Drago.
And now please welcome the Texas Rangers manager and starting lineup. First, introducing the manager, number 15, Bruce Bochy. Leading off for Texas, second baseman, number 2, Marcus Semien. Batting second, shortstop, number 5, Corey Seager. Batting third, right fielder, number 53, Adolis Garcia. Batting fourth, left fielder, number 32, Evan Carter. Batting fifth, designated hitter, number 18, Mitch Garver. Batting sixth, catcher, number 28, Jonah Heim. Batting seventh, first baseman, number 30, Nathaniel Lowe. Batting eighth, third baseman, number 6, Josh Young. Batting ninth, center fielder, number 3, Leody Taveras. And the starting pitcher for Texas, number 31, Max Scherzer. And now, please welcome the manager and starting lineup for your Arizona Diamondbacks. Introducing the D-backs manager, number 17, Torey Lovullo. Leading off for the D-backs, right fielder, number 7, Corbin Carroll. Batting second, second baseman, number 4, Gatel Monte. Batting third, catcher, number 14, Gabriel Moreno. Batting fourth, first baseman, number 53, Christian Walker. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 28, Tommy Pham. Batting sixth, left fielder, number 12, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Batting seventh, center fielder, number 5, Alec Thomas. Batting eighth, third baseman, number 3, Evan Longoria. Batting ninth, shortstop, number 2, Geraldo Perdomo. And the starting pitcher for your D-backs, number 32, Brandon Pfaadt. Fans, your Arizona Diamondbacks. fans, at this time, we ask that you please rise if you are able, and please remove your hats. Presenting our colors tonight, please welcome the Luke Air Force Base Honor Guard. The Arizona Diamondbacks and Texas Rangers invite you to join in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, performed by multi-platinum recording artist and Arizona's own Jordan Sparks.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Now we're ready to go for this game number 3 here in Phoenix. On the call, as usual, Joe Davis and John Smoltz. They've got it for you right after the break.
Chase Field. And we welcome inside the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. I'm Joe Davis. It is the power of the Texas Rangers against the constant pressure of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Game 1, you saw the power with the late home runs leading the Rangers to the win. Game 2, John, was textbook Diamondbacks pressure ball.
Listen, this series is about punch, counterpunch. And what I mean by that is the team that can adjust the quickest is going to be the team that moves on and really deals with the adversity of the game before. What did the Diamondbacks do? They made the adjustments on the pitching end. 10 walks. They couldn't get them out when they needed to. They pitched in the strike zone. They made the adjustment. What did they do offensively? That's more important. You see what they did in runners in scoring position. Of course, they got more hits. They were able to put the ball in play. 14 strikeouts to 2. 7 2-out runs. If you can adjust like that, you're going to be able to win the championship.
How about this intriguing, fascinating pitching matchup we have for Game 3? You've got on one side Max Scherzer pitching in his 30th postseason game. Brandon Pfaadt on the other side is pitching in his 23rd big league game.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The rookie against the veteran. And the rookie has made all kinds of changes necessary to be dominant, which he's been. He's not afraid. He pitched Game 7, and he did well. I think the same thing for pitching at home. But when you see the comparisons, it looks lopsided. The difference is Max Scherzer's now only made 3 starts since his injury. He's getting better each time. Can he give the Texas Rangers depth and innings, because tomorrow is going to be all about the bullpen.
Yeah, pretty much as soon as the bullpens get involved in this game, it's their show for the next 2 days. World Series is back here in Phoenix for the first time in 22 years, for the first time since the ball fell into center field and Luis Gonzalez became a hero. Who will be the heroes? Who will be the legends this time around in the 119th World Series? It's the Arizona Diamondbacks. It's the Texas Rangers. It's Game 3 next on Fox. Baseball is defined by the little moments.
Every pitch carrying the weight of the world is what makes this game so special. And all those moments have led to this, the sport's biggest stage. Now under the bright lights of the Fall Classic, it's still those little moments that unite an entire state. And make lifelong legends. It's time for one last series, one last goodbye, one last chance to become a legend.
Baseball is ever evolving. Seasons change, players change, cathedrals change. But the one constant is the baseball itself, the heart and soul of the game. The tipping point between winning and losing.
Adolis Garcia, the legend, grows!
It can crush your spirit,
It gets through Buckner.
lift an entire city, cherished for a lifetime.
The impossible has happened.
Tonight, this ball brings two teams together as the stakes now change. It's Game 3 of the World Series.
On a 79-degree night back in Phoenix and back for the 2023 World Series on Fox, presented by Capital One. Down to the field, here's Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. On his last pitch in Game 7 of the ALCS, Max Scherzer unleashed a fastball that opened up a cut on his right thumb just below the nail. Scherzer has since performed what he called arts and crafts in the training room, using superglue and cotton to provide a layer of protection. The bigger questions for Scherzer tonight, as John said, how long can he go, and how effective will he be in what is still only his third start since returning from a 5-week absence. Scherzer said he can throw his fastball 100%. The bigger question is his command. Will he regain it? Perhaps the third time will be the charm. Now over to Tom Verducci.
Well, thanks, Ken. Back in May, Brandon Pfaadt made his major league debut against Texas. It did not go well. 7 runs on 9 hits. Since then, he was demoted to the minor leagues twice. He threw fewer fastballs. He moved from the third base side of the rubber to the first, and in the postseason, he changed his delivery, removing a glitch at the top of it. The result, version 2.0, has the best strikeout to walk rate among rookie pitchers in postseason history. Tonight, it's as if the Rangers are seeing him for the very first time. Joe.
All right, Tom, in the lineup that he'll face off with looks like this. The same guys at the top, but a little change there, 3 and 4. Bruce Bochy flips Adolis Garcia and Evan Carter. Garber had the home run to account for their scoring in Game 2. He bats 5th, then Hine, then Blow, then Josh Young, and Leody Taveras to finish things up against his 25-year-old Brandon Pfaadt. And tonight's FanDuel Live same game parlay. Couple good hitters need them to hit home runs to cash in. 6-5 Texas in a Game 1 thriller. 9-1 Arizona in a convincing Game 2. And off we go in Game 3 with strike 1 on Marcus Semien.
Well, hate to be redundant in how simple this can be, but if the Texas Rangers get pitches to hit in the strike zone, they will do damage. If they don't, it'll be a lot like Merrill Kelly's game. So that's what Brandon's going to try to do. Pitch around the zone, but throw enough strikes and use that pitch right there. That slider has been such a weapon, but he's a strike thrower, and he's been handling all the tension about as good as any young pitcher I've seen in a long time.
That slider is one of the most valuable sliders in baseball the last few months since he came back up from AAA after that journey Tom talked about. Downstairs with the fastball here, and it's 2-1 on Semien. I mean, he was better when he came up, but this has been a different guy. The calendar flipped to October.
Yeah, it sure has. And we mentioned the 2 pitches. He's got a really above average changeup so that he'll utilize against left-handers.
Home of the 2-1. Semien takes ball 3.
But the natural thing in a postseason game, he's pitched a couple. The World Series is a little bit different. So we'll see if the Rangers are patient enough to see if he has any jitters with his fastball. And early on, missed a couple already. Gotten the 3-1 count. Favorite Rangers.
Here it comes. Semien gets under it. In right field, it's Carroll making a call and the catch, and the pitcher profile sponsored by Google Pixel. 25 years old from Louisville, Kentucky. That debut that Tom mentioned came on May 3rd. He gave up 4 home runs to these Texas Rangers, and at the end of his first month in the big leagues, his ERA was above 8. So he goes down to AAA, makes some changes, takes a deep breath, comes back up at the end of July and was much better over the final couple months. But in this postseason, after he got knocked out in the 3rd inning of his first game, a 1.27 ERA since. So he's going to get Seager on 1 pitch.
See, and that's the changeup I was talking about. You can't aggressively go after Seager with fastballs, but Seager thought that might have been a fastball and swung out in front and grounded out. Those are the kind of outs you've got to get early in games to settle your nerves if you have any. But see the fade action on that changeup. He hits it off the end of the bat and perfectly executed against aggressive hitters.
Here's a little lineup change that you're going to see here from Bruce Bochy on a day where the bullpen figures to be involved a little bit early. They don't let Pfaadt typically go through past twice in the order, so he gets Garcia up. Split up the left-handers and Seager and Carter. And Garcia, who had his 5-game home run streak snap with an 0-for-3 in Game 2. Back on the road where he has thrived in this postseason.
That pitch, as the game goes on, if he can start that pitch in the middle of the zone, it's going to be very hard to lay off of. Right now, he has not executed that pitch, but his fastball, as we can imagine, is going to have extra life on it with adrenaline.
Pfaadt to Garcia with a 1-1. That's outside for ball 2.
What the Rangers did so well in Game 1 against Zach Gallen, they didn't chase. They got the better of it. They came back and won the game. What Merrill Kelly did is establish fastballs at the bottom and then east and west of the strike zone and took them out of their game.
That is a sky-high fly ball to center field for Alec Thomas. And the rookie Brandon Pfaadt just keeps on doing it. 1-2-3 first inning in his World Series debut.